Alright, what's going on, guys? My name is Saint Manga, and I want to welcome all of you back to Nier Replicant. We're heading to the Forest of Myth. Apparently we had a dream about it, and not only that, but Yona also had a dream about it.
Get out of my way! I have to save Yona!
Who the fuck are you yelling at? He came back home to see me. Like, bruh, how long do I be gone? As far as I'm concerned, I'll be coming back every day. Huh. Doesn't look like much of a village. I guess y'all live in the trees? What are y'all, elves?
It sure is quiet here.
Such silence bodes ill. There's trouble on the way. I'm certain of it.
You know, I kind of feel that.
A little optimism now and then wouldn't hurt, Vice.
Such cheek.
Such cheek.
Beware, beware. The words.
The words?
Contagious words.
COVID words?
Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind. It is not quizzical.
Oh. Narration?
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his
Perhaps
eyes.
we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream has spread across the Forest of Myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. Oh, what? It's like Madara and that, I forgot what that jutsu was called. The village mayor had determined the death dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. White stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching silently.
Now see here.
He
Are
said,
you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, yes,
said the mayor,
I think you have.
In other words,
said Saint.
we've caught the death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm Saint's suspicion, Weiss exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who Saint had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
Saint and Weiss racked their brains but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider. Too much random chatter. Too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Weiss chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator.
I'm gonna need you to calm down, sir.
It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Weiss looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Saint like a contagion. Wow, we're going full text adventure. Alright. Wait, said Saint suddenly. Did someone say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Weiss aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Said the mayor. Some specific combination of words. What was it? It was about dreaming or something that dreams or... oh, what the hell was it? A sheep, cried Weiss suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Saint's face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said. Those who dream. That's what he said. I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Saint. That sounds right, he said. As a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the past month, I've done nothing but study the disease that we call the death dream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along. But I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Weiss immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams, he said. But perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream, I've been looking for a way out. But I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment. Oh my god, all this reading. His unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Saint nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second, I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence! Cried Weiss. The grimoire looked from Saint to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Weiss's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor. You told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seem surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god. You're right. I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Weiss. And dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine the exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done of this place. The mayor certainly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called at the departing forms of Saint and Weiss. We're all counting on you. Oh my god. I thought I was about to play again. As Saint slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought. But where? Saint's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around them. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once, he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Weiss was proving to be spectacularly poor, a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either rough terrain or physical effort, I added a word, he spent most of his time urging Saint to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Weiss muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Saint snapped. Okay, Weiss, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. Saint leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big? He muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, hiss, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. Saint slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Weiss! What's going on? Saint could see Weiss's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled, and then, just as Saint's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Zree, 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 zree. Shack. I don't... Bro, what bugs are these? Okay, I'm not doing these words. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Saint began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, and 3 with it is dangerous. Then I leave it to you to answer. What is it? The answer is a secret. Yeah, it's a secret. Actually, I've always heard that, how was it said? Like, 3 people can keep a secret and 2 of them are dead. Inwardly furious that Weiss left the task to him, Saint sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret, right? The sound of the insect stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before Saint like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Weiss with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Saint moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Saint after a bit. Weiss spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Weiss finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Saint picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Weiss. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. Then the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring. The ripples it left behind came together to form words. Bruh, dang. Oh, that's right. I forgot Kaine doesn't walk into village. I was about to say, where the fuck is she? I entered through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. When am I? Light. Absurdly easy, barked Weiss. Now answer it. Saint grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right after all. This one is pretty easy. I entered through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Weiss softly, I have never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey, look! Cried Saint, awaking Weiss from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Weiss saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Weiss? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? It's a dream dumbass. Saint walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, a whole minute? You didn't stop? The door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Saint. But before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? Oh, we're doing the classic riddle now, okay. Saint tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Weiss, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose so, said Saint. Well, at least it's an easy one. 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. A man. The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Sorry. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried Saint. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry? What's that mean? It would make sense at the time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the death dream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Saint watched mist seep up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Saint and Weiss returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to him. Good gravy, he cried. You made it. You actually made it back. His left hand grasped Saint's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Weiss by the cover and swung him through the air. Gah! By the heavens, stop shaking me, fool. We have not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Saint withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a smile. We broke the death dream seal, he said. At least, I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as Saint filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them lay down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Saint cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this self is futility. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility in itself. I still added a word. Saint and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten, continued Weiss, it is words that control the death dream. Words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. I've never been good at accents. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor. The first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Oh, finally! Saint shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh, wow, said the mayor in an awed voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The death dream was spreading through our village and I wanted to. Well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and became trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Saint and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall learn the short. You shall. Fuck, Weiss. That is that accent, man. I'm gonna keep trying to. You shall relearn in short order, I am sure, said Weiss. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the death dream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained when the prayer was finished. It's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Weiss. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Saint and Weiss could not contain their surprise. It seemed their goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Weiss, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Saint mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left with them. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is gonna sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. Saint tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I think it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Saint gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly, his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. And what exactly is going on here? That riddle will prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
Good God, man. So long on just that.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Dark execution. I think I remember that. Yeah. Magical spikes from the ground to impale enemies. Lock set charge to increase the number of spikes.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
Well, that was fun. There's really nothing here though. I'm gonna look around. Ain't gonna stop my ass.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that...
Oh, fuck.
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sort of creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time...
Yeah.
Alright guys, this is a text adventure episode. I breathe air, seeing it with death, and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath a stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside, I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Are these death metal lyrics? Time... Well, not death metal, just metal. Maybe death metal. Time passes. An eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say, my savior. I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my adult mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me! I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me! Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Weiss, and this is Saint. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as Saint extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see the water pooling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. That is a dark metaphor. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. Oh. Okay, so it's really about to be a text adventure game. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds, resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come across a shapeless mass of gray matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds, and back again, until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. Insanity would not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors. Well, we went north first, so let's go east. Then north. Okay, we went north again, so we don't want to go south. We'll go east again. At the end of the path, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains. And this is the movement I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking legs, then slowly fall back from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs proved to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. For if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasped frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was the punishment. Though in truth, I suspect that they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. I squint down the dim corridors. I went east, so we'll go north. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. "Break it down," someone cries, so I give myself to the effort. In tandem with Saint and Grimoire Weiss, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. "How can I thank you?" I cry. I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly noticed that my dress is in tatters, and sheepishly tried to cover my exposed skin. "Your dress?" asked Weiss. "Then you are a woman, madam." "I am." "Oh, shit." I proffer the two a smile. Or is it proffer? I never used that word before. "I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing as how I exist only in the form of words." I can see that the one known as Saint is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forward to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades. Ah, there she is.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I mean, we got through it pretty easily as long as you remember what way you went before. And don't go the opposite way of that. Instead, like, choose a new direction. I mean, you get out.
I hear that.
Or at least find a new place. Okay. Bruh, like, normally, you know, I do like a lot of skipping and shit in my videos. So normally I don't have, you know, like I'll record for like a couple hours and then I'm done. You know, I cut it down to like 30, 40 minutes, sometimes 20 if I can. As long as there's nothing like, nothing story related that I'm leaving out. But with the way these text adventures are, I feel like I kind of have to leave them all in. At the very least, I'm not doing all this reading for nothing, bruh. I'm sorry. Like, it's probably gonna be its own self-contained episode, and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing.
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
Bruh, who you telling? Yeah.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff, Weiss.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
Okay. A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Weiss and Snake had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away.
Oh, thank you. Please keep helping me like this.
What do you think, Weiss?
As Weiss considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Saint nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. Oh, they playing this song? This is my shit. Let's see, the ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Saint lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. Mike's tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said. No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Saint glanced at Weiss's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, Saint's feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We are definitely getting closer, said Weiss in an effort to cheer his companion. Yes, this much is certain. Encouraged, Saint lifted his gaze. Suddenly, he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing at the distance. In the distance. Water, he cried. It's water! Water, said Weiss. Preposterous. I don't see any water. Over there, just ahead of us. Look, the sun's reflecting off it. Oh, it's a mirage. Without waiting for a response, Saint sprang to life and bounded towards the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Saint closed his eyes and sighed as Weiss floated up from behind him and chuckled softly. I believe this is known as a mirage, he said. Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things. Saint shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. Wait, there it is! I just missed it. Look, it's right there! Saint sprang off again, leaving Weiss with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, Saint came to a halt. I could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour, until an exasperated Weiss finally floated up to Saint and struck him in the face with his cover. Enough, you blithering idiot! Stop this at once! There is no water here! Saint's face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much. Weiss paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the city of art. Saint looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge! Cried Saint, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big. That's what she said. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky. But that is where the similarities end. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some tall spires had their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. What kind of city is this? Said Saint. Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silently on steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Saint and Weiss eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the name of humans. In the shape of humans. Saint uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally. I was getting tired of modern art. Okay, the 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As Saint moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false one will always speak lies. Okay, so one is real, the other 2 are false. I hate this puzzle, bro. I can't remember the answer to it. With that, the bird departed, as if on cue. The 3 statues shared the light, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said Saint. They're alive. The triplets bowed low before Saint. Please, said Alpha. You have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Stop lying, said Beta. He turned to Saint and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's a fake, you know. Alpha's a fake, you know. I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta's fake. Everyone knows I'm the real one around here. Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. When you consider all the statements, only one of them could be the real thing, said Weiss. Okay, so Alpha said, help, I'm the real one. Beta says that Alpha is fake, and Gamma says that Beta is fake. I'm trying to remember. Oh my god. He said when you consider all 3 of their statements, only one could be the real one, because only one tells the truth. Oh wow.
It would seem we failed.
Yeah,
We'd best act more.
this is the worst job ever.
Oh, you know what? I think it's Beta. I mean, obviously Alpha's out, but because like he said that they always lie, the other ones always lie. So Gamma says that everyone knows I'm the only real one around here, and it's like, I don't know. To me, that sounds like a lie because everyone doesn't know that. Okay. Though Saint's voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Weiss nodding at him. If Alpha was telling the truth, began Weiss in the dry tones of a lecturer, Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar. Oh, that's right. Ah, shit. Therefore, that theory crumbles. Now, let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That would make Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with 2 statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense. Oh, okay, yeah. I wasn't thinking about it like that. As Weiss finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled silently into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Weiss in a cheerful tone. The time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as he could before an uncomfortable saint pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this? Asked Weiss. Have you been to the city before? The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape, then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. But at the same time, I feel like I've been here before. Deja vu, muttered Saint, just like the mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Saint during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime.
You're telling me.
I am sick of reading, bruh.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here,
Oh, we got faith.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course, it's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again.
Alright, so we're gonna have a little bit more reading for it. First off, I wanna see what it looks like. Ooh. It's very light. Well, let's see what. Okay, it's a katana. It looks pretty rusty. Oh, I can get some more broken antenna. Oh, it'll go up to 189. Yo! I'm gonna level this up before I start the next episode, bruh. It says very light, so I wonder if I can actually move faster with it. But yeah, I can get tons of broken antenna in the junk heap. Oh, wait. But yeah, the last bit of reading. Okay, so the story of faith. There was once a famous poet in a land in the land to the far, far east. Now in his twilight years, his ability had withered such that he could no longer craft a single stanza or verse. The poor poet spent every moment racked with sorrow for what had been lost. But one day, a monk appeared by his side, gently placed a blade in his hand, and imparted the following words. Okay. I guess we don't. I'm gonna find that out. But yeah, guys, we are done. And I am tired, bruh. I don't want to read for a while. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like reading, but you know, like when you're reading on your own, you hardly ever read out loud. You know, I try to, you know, always just read in my head when just like, you know, a normal person. So reading so much, I mean, I guess if I wasn't recording.
So how was the village?
It sucked.
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
Neat.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
Fuck a Pope. But yeah, like, shoot, I'm actually tired of talking. But yeah, that's it, guys. We're done for right now, and I will catch all of you in the next episode. All right? Peace.